Hello, everybody, and welcome to really an impromptu edition of the Jazz Report called Love and Grind Love Stories. So, I tell you what, you're going to be in for a treat tonight because I have some very special featured guests tonight that are couples, by the way, that's basically going to share their love story. And so you want to make sure you keep it locked right here. I'm going to ask that all of you would share this broadcast, share the broadcast, share the broadcast, because one thing for sure, two things for certain. When you find couples that are living happily ever after, things that they share will not only bring laughter, but joy and really inspiration into your lives. So that's what today's episode of Love and Grind, Love Story is all about, is that couples will be sharing their love stories. But before we get started, check this out. Hey everybody, yours truly, Miss Jazzy here. I am so excited to drop this evening an impromptu of love and grind, love stories. There's going to be couples that will be able to literally share their love story. You don't want to miss it. We're going to be talking tonight mainly about communication being the lifeline of any relationship. And without it, the relation will starve itself to death. And that's a quote from Elizabeth Burquitt. And I tell you what, some of these couples that I put out a post to say share a photo of couples, and so many shared. So as you're seeing these couples go through this video promo, there's going to be couples that you're seeing right here, right now, that's going to be sharing with us live tonight, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can lock it in from the Jazzy Report on Facebook or Stephanie Miss Jazzy on Facebook. It's going to be absolutely amazing that we're going to be sharing their love stories. And hopefully those of you that will watch and engage and connect with us through tonight, we're going to be allowing them to express something maybe never truly discussed before. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm excited for the couples that will join us tonight, and we're going to keep it a surprise. We're going to keep it a surprise so that way you'll be able to tune in, stay plugged in, stay connected. So you'll see who will be on Love and Grind Love Stories. Tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Jazz Report. Yes. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is the impromptu, I'm going to say really like the official launch of Love and Grind Love Story. So listen, if you're a couple and you're willing to share your stories, I definitely want to hear from you. I would love for you to hit me up. You can actually go to Love and Grind Love Stories at gmail.com. Again, that's love and spelling the word and out, Love and Grind Love Stories at gmail.com. Well, let me go ahead and take an opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and bring around all of our featured guests tonight. They're going to take an opportunity to introduce themselves. But as I prepare to bring them all to the live, let's get started with each and every couple that's joining us tonight. So again, we appreciate all of you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. And what an amazing, just I say impromptu as far as the response of you all showing up tonight to be able to share your love story. So we're going to just go around the block here, and I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself. You're going to be able to introduce your spouse, and then we're going to jump right in and talk about love and grind and have you share your love story. So up first, we have Mr. Billy and Stephanie Smith. So you guys are here on the live with us this evening, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce each other.
Actually, it's Billy and Stephanie Mayfield.
Mayfield, what
Yes.
is ah? I don't wrote Smith on the paper. So
I was a Smith before marriage, but Mayfield.
okay, I got it. So let's say get it right. So
That's all right.
rewind. So Billy and Stephanie Mayfield, welcome to
Right.
Love and Grind. So go ahead and take an opportunity to introduce each other.
Thank you for the invite. I was excited to hear about this. I am Stephanie Mayfield. This is my husband, Billy Mayfield.
How y'all doing?
And we're just excited to be here. We are a couple who have been together about 34 years. We've been married for 28 years. We have 3 grown children. We have a granddaughter who is spoiled rotten, and we just love being together. We're best friends.
Yeah. All right. Okay, then and we'll move on over then. I don't know, Billy, did you want to add anything else to that, or is that good for you?
That's good for me. She took all my answers.
All right, Sharika, you guys are up next, so I'll let you as well introduce yourself and your husband as well.
Hi, I'm Sharika, and this is Ricky Abercrombie, and we have been together on and off for 26 years. We've been married for 2. We have 3 children. They're all 7 years apart. We have an 18-year-old, 11, and we have a 4-year-old. Pray for us. They're all so far apart. Um, and we just had our goddaughter had had us a god grandbaby today. So woo! So we
Congratulations.
are celebrating, and we've been together since I was 12 and he was 13. And we old now.
Listen, that indeed is a love story from 12 and 13. I don't know. That's a long time. But thank you so much for being here, being one of our featured guests tonight for Love and Grind, Love Stories. Up next, we have Reverend Derek and Marilyn Scurry have joined us as well for Love and Grind. I'm going to give you all as well an opportunity to introduce yourselves. Oh, you guys are muted.
Look at us.
All right, there you go.
Look at us. We forgot to unmute. Huh? I'm Reverend Derek D. Scurry, and this is my wife, Marilyn Scurry. I am the pastor of Greater St. John's AME Zion Church in Winsboro, South Carolina. I'm the chaplain of the city of Woodruff, and I'm a barber in the city of Woodruff also. We have a 31-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 26-year-old, and a 9-year-old. And we have 5 grandchildren. My wife works every day at Timkins, and both of us are currently in school. She goes to school at Strayer University, and I am attending Hood Theological Seminary. And, we just, as we got married, we learned to not just say we love each other, but to fall in love with each other on a daily basis.
That's good. I love it. Now that's a challenge though, thinking about both of you being in school. Pretty interesting. So we'll definitely have to find out some more about that. So we're going to move on over then to our next couple, Miss Kimberly Joy, along with Marcus. Welcome to Love and Grind. So definitely want to give you guys as well an opportunity to introduce yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Kimberly and this is Marcus, and we have been married for 21 years. We have 2 boys that are 15 and 13. And he's a really busy traveling executive. Love what he does. He's looking like, but he is, and then I actually have my own brand as a health coach and life coach. And I'm an actor as well. So those are the things going on.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we're going to hear back from all of you shortly. I'm going to go ahead and remove some of the couples, and we're going to keep our featured couple for this time right now. Again, Billy and Stephanie, and Stephanie, the fact that we have the same name, spelled
right.
But 2 Stephanies on the screen together, you don't know. But listen, for those of you that are watching, thank you guys so much for rolling with us during this time. This is the official impromptu, I'm going to say, launch of Love and Grind, love stories. And this is giving couples an opportunity to really just do that, and that's share their love story. But many of you may not personally know, as far as myself, having divorced, and one thing that I did as a part of my healing process, one thing that I really truly know that I struggled with in my previous and first marriage was communication. And so much so that I actually wrote a communication guide. So I have a relationship series, communication guide. It's an interactive digital guide that really allows you as couples, and I would say us as couples, because one day I'm going to marry again. I truly believe that. But these are what we call conversation starters. Okay. So I'm going to jump in here, and I know you guys didn't have any idea what we're going to talk about tonight, but communication and I said this in our promo, is the lifeline of any relationship. Without it, the relation will starve itself to death.
Right.
And that's a quote from Elizabeth Burquette, and I'm sure I'm messing up her last name, but the way this digital interactive communication guide, it's broken down by the days of the week. So since you guys are up first, we're going to talk about Sunday songs. Okay. So I want you guys to reminisce on love songs or create an atmosphere of like praise and worship. This is what we're doing in our minds. So I guess the question for you, Stephanie, as well as you, Billy, would be, what is your favorite either love song or what's your favorite praise and worship song?
Oh man. Right. We got so many. I mean, I need my playlist, but I can remember back, like I said, back in the day, we've been together we met in high school. So high school sweethearts. And one of our favorite songs was by Guy. I can't even think of the name of it, but I can remember the lyrics.
Let's chill.
Let's chill or something like that. Yeah.
And let's settle down.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that was our song.
All right. Now, one thing you mentioned too is you said you guys were high school sweethearts.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And I saw in your bio where you all actually met in 1986?
Right.
At J.L. Mann High School. And I'm sure there's probably some other couples that could probably relate and say that they met in high school as well. But, I'm in that era with my daughter right now. And I'm telling her, I'm like, but here you are in high school. You may not like or marry these boys that you call yourself liking, but it really does happen.
It happens,
that end up dating through high school and end up together. So the Let's Chill being your favorite, what's a memory if you had to take it back to the high school years of when you all first started dating? What was the communication between you two back then, would you say?
It was fair. I mean, we was in high school together, so we seen each other about every day. He was an athlete. I was an athlete. So track practice, and he practiced for football, and I was a color guard. So we even seen each other after school, and then we go home and do homework so we could rush and get on the phone and talk until my mom would say, okay, it's 11 o'clock. It's time to go. And then it was that you hang up first, or you hang up and I'll hang up. So, just like that.
Yeah. So I tell you what, 34 years together is a long time. That's really a lifetime. I mean, nowadays, those years are hard to come by. But the fact that you all are sustaining your marriage, you've committed till death do us part. When was the last time you would say that maybe you shared a song? What's that love song that you could say that you shared between the two of you that made you really just reminisce about the love that you share?
I don't know. What would you say?
That's a hard one, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we love music, and that's a lot of things what we do at night. Before you go to bed or whatever. While we listen to music, and I'm an ordained minister, so we listen to both. I love the classics, and we love even some of the go back and reminisce over the rap songs, and we love the gospel too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just whatever's in the moment. Just whatever. And then that kind of brings back memories, and we may start off, next thing you know, we've been listening to music for a couple hours.
Yes. Well, one thing about music that definitely shifts the atmosphere.
Yes, it does.
Whether it's dance music, whether it's the love, bump and grind in between the sheets music, or you going to the throne, you know what I'm saying? So we can appreciate for all couples that may be watching tonight, turn on music tonight. You never know what the mood could be set as far as the atmosphere that you're trying to create for your spouse or significant other, should I say. But again, Billy and Steph, there are couples that are watching tonight, and they can think about whether they're high school sweethearts. Maybe they're not still with their high school sweetheart, or 34 years being together is a long time, and the struggle is real. It may not definitely have been easy over the years, but there are couples that are watching tonight, I'm sure, that they could definitely look to hear from you as far as, for one, a word of encouragement, however you're led tonight for a couple that is watching tonight. What would be your words of encouragement for them?
Communication. Stay connected. Talk to you every day. Just talk to about something, just share, listen as well as listen to, any problems, any praise reports, just to listen and connect like that.
Right. I mean, we share everything. We made up in our minds when we got married, and we was, like I said, we was young when we got married, but we made up in our minds that we would always talk about whatever, good or bad, happy or sad.
Right.
I don't keep anything from him. He doesn't keep anything from me. We share everything, and it's never mine. Everything that we have is ours. It's our kids, it's our house, it's our cars, it's our money. Everything is ours because that's the way God wanted. We're connected in spirit and in truth. So that's what I say. Make sure communication is there. When you start hiding things and keeping secrets, you just kind of start drifting apart, So like I said before, he's my best friend, and I believe I'm his best friend because we go everywhere and do everything together.
Yeah, I hear you. And that speaks volumes. One thing you said, whether it's happy or sad, and I kind of got that wrong with my kids. I might always tell the truth, whether it's good or bad, makes me happy or sad, always tell the truth.
That's right.
And so that communication piece is very important. Again, this is love and grind. So when we talk about the grind of what you all do to be one as a couple to make ends meet, what are you guys doing for work? What are you doing for business? What's your side hustle? What you got going on?
Well, right now, like I said, I'm a minister. I'm an ordained minister. I go to Maple Creek we both go to Maple Creek and Greer. Actually, I'm disabled. I have fibromyalgia, and I've had it for about 15 years now. So basically, I'm a stay-at-home wife and stay-at-home mom, and I work in the ministry. So that's what I do.
Okay.
And I work at Renewable Water Resources until about a month ago. I got hurt on the job. So I had to go find me another job. So I'm getting ready to start UPS in about another month.
Okay.
So it's something different for me. So
definitely gonna be different, for the holidays, but bless God for the opportunity.
Exactly.
So we really appreciate you guys joining us tonight, sharing a little bit of your love story, and we'll connect again. We'll definitely bring you back. I know this is a virtual setup, but at some point we hope to do an in-person, and then we can definitely invite you guys back to be a part of the panel. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing your love story. Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So again, guys, thank you all so much for rolling with us for this time, an impromptu of love and grind, love stories, giving couples really an opportunity to share just that. And that's their love story. So we're going to go ahead and bring around our next featured guest, which is the Morgans. We're going to bring around Marcus and Kimberly, and we're going to welcome them to the live again for love and grind, love stories. Welcome back, guys. And again, thank you so much for joining us tonight as we're talking really about conversation starters. Communication is very important. I mean, I know that's in like the top 3 of really what's going to help to sustain and really make it last forever. Because if you don't have communication, it could really, really be a stickler, right? So we're going to talk about, as far as you guys, let's talk about, let's see. Monday meditations. All right. So this again, guys, is coming from the relationship series, Communication Guys, is penned by yours truly as just an outlet for couples, for people that are able to communicate and just kind of give you a starting point. So Meditation Monday says, have a scripture, okay, that you can meditate on all day, even memorize it, and be able to discuss the revelation of how you can apply that verse to your marriage or relationship. So I know this may be a little impromptu, but if you had a favorite scripture, what would be, as a couple, you would say, I mean, you may have one of your own, each have his own, your favorite scripture.
Go ahead.
Oh. Yeah.
You got the pastor watching too. So you
but I think when she says for us, I guess I would probably say for the protection of our family and certain things, I think Psalm 91 is probably a scripture. I know that our kids have memorized, that we have, that it's one of those things that I think we're asking God's hand to be on our lives, right? And to protect us and walk us through, this world is 10,000 may fall on our right and 1,000, that space of understanding his protection over our lives, I think is a very important piece to sustaining, like that's the only way we're going to make it in this world, is by him being with us. So Psalm 91, I would say, is what I pray over our family every day.
That's good.
For you?
Well, see, I'm on the spot now. But I think it's in Proverbs, and I don't know just the exact word, the exact text, but it's in all of thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy paths. I try to apply that in every area of my life, and obviously being a head of our family, that's an area that I always want to feel like I have God's direction. And so that's a vantage point that I try to approach this marriage with and leading the family with.
And that's good. And to have those biblical principles that you can, instill in your family. Like you said, one thing you said at your boys too, that you've memorized. And I mean, the fact that you guys have teenage boys that are right there together, 13 and 15? Mm-hmm. How is that as it relates to, that teenage years, them trying to figure out their manhood and, school and extracurricular activities? How does that work as far as the balance within your relationship of being able to communicate, through what the boys have going on and, who does what? How does that work?
Well, I mean, for the two of us, communication is key. We both have lives that sometimes he has to travel out of town. Now that I'm acting more, there are times where I have to, go on set and I'm not available. So for the two of us, I think it's really about the communication of what's happening. How do I get this kid, here to do this? One's almost going to be driving soon, so that'll help. But I think for the two of us, communication is key. There was a time, I would say, early when he was traveling a lot and they were younger. That's when I took a step back from my career stuff, because I knew that someone had to be consistently there to make sure that they got where they needed to go. Now that they're older, they can kind of catch rides with friends. And so we were able to be a little, I guess, less strict in some areas, just because that they're coming to that age where it can happen. But for us, it's really communication and saying, hey, do you have them this morning? I need to be in Miami by 5:30 in the morning. So you do this. And it's just, I think we make it work. And when we can't, we call on parental help and they come in and stay with our kids to make it work. So I think it's a team effort.
And then one thing that I guess I can speak to too, just following your journey, because you guys recently, not too long ago, relocated. And so I know that could have really caused a strain, or just, the pressure of doing that. What did that really entail as far as your relationship of communicating through your marriage, of relocating to a whole nother state?
I'm gonna let you take that one.
Well, I think we talked about it a lot before we made the decision that this was something that we wanted to do. Obviously, we prayed about it, and we engaged the boys in that process as well. So, they had input into the decision, and, where we chose to live, and, where they went to school. And so I think being open with them and engaging everyone in the process allowed our transition to be that much easier, because everyone had input into that decision. So,
and that's good. And I think that will hopefully be encouraging for other couples that could be watching, because I'm sure there's somebody right now facing a relocation for whatever reason. And the key thing is that you said is everybody, it was all inclusive, that everyone was included in the decision of being able to talk about it. I'm sure pray through it, getting your boys also involved. And so I think that's definitely key as far as communicating through that. And so as we're going to get ready to wrap up your segment, again, if you were able to encourage a couple that's watching tonight, however you're led, what would be your words of encouragement again for Love and Grind, love stories, as we are encouraging couples throughout the evening tonight?
For me, I would say, I always tell people my word of encouragement is to marry your best friend. Like, not someone that you just are, attracted to in their youth. And I mean, that's a beautiful thing. And I'm attracted to this man here, I would say, but that space, definitely. But that space for me of being able to say that I like spending time with you. I like tomorrow is my birthday, and the person I want to spend my birthday with the most is my husband, and he took the day off so that we could do that, because we have such a good time hanging out together. We have definitely different interests. There are things that I love to do that he could care less about ever engaging in, and vice versa. But we also have things that and I would say he loves riding a Goldwing motorcycle. And I enjoy riding on the back. It's not less necessarily where I would spend hours and hours and hours watching Goldwing videos and studying the bike, but I'm interested in what he likes to do, and I want to encourage him. So it's about doing things together and finding your best friend, because things will happen to looks, things will happen to people's bodies in the sense of sickness, illness, disease, but at the core, do you like and really enjoy being around that person? Because if you don't, then I feel like that's what the recipe for the people that, especially as a coach, I see so many women that come to me that are unhappy because they're not with their best friend. And I think that we've had our share of, days where we probably don't necessarily like each other, just in general, but at the core, he's my best friend and I love him. Just like you have a girlfriend or, a guy friend that you may not have the best moment with them. I think that's the biggest thing that I would say, marry your best friend.
That's amazing.
And I think for me, what has made it easier for us is that from the beginning, splitting up wasn't an option. We knew that from the beginning, that we had some excellent counselors at the beginning of our relationship that, helped us to arrive at that place. And I think I would add, to try and be intentional, like Kimberly said, we try to be intentional with, what we're bringing to the other person, because sometimes it is a grind, as you put it. And sometimes you just want to be by yourself, or sometimes you want to do other things. But if you care about that other person, then those things that are important to them should be important to you as well.
Absolutely.
And just acknowledging that. So that's what.
Well, you guys have said a mouthful, and I can see where Ruby Morgan says, great interview. My son is even on here. He said, one verse I'll always remember too. So you guys have definitely dropped some bombs of nuggets that folks can really, hopefully take to heart and apply to their current relationships or their marriages. And so, Kimberly, I know with your brand and what you're doing, people may want to connect with you, being a coach. How can they reach out to you?
Sure. My website is doallthingswithjoy, JOY.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram by the same name. And I love all things health and wellness. Like my tagline is where health and wellness meets passion and purpose. So I love helping, especially women, get to that space in their life.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much to the Morgans for joining us for Love and Grind, sharing a little bit about your love story. We definitely appreciate you chiming in tonight. Okay. All right. So we thank again the Morgans for joining us. I hope you guys are enjoying this impromptu, really just taking an opportunity, hopefully bring some happiness to the live and get some smiles on your face when you can really see just really love exude through the airways tonight, right? And so we're getting ready to bring up our next couple again as we prepare to share with them the Scurries, as they are here live with us this evening for Love and Grind love stories. And one thing when I was looking over your bio, I saw that you guys have been together for 13 years. And this is both of your first and only marriage.
Yes.
And of course, being in ministry, God hates divorce. But I mean, I also know that you have 5 grandkids and, just really want to talk to the point that you all, first of all, are in ministry and married. because, you know, it can be hard on the yard, you know, when you are, it's like when you are held to a higher standard, I could say, when you're a man of the cloth. And I'm sure there's all kind of temptations and things that you have to deal with personally, but, you know, communication being key. And so we're going to throw at you guys Tuesday Talks. And this is coming from the relationship series Communication Guide. This is an interactive digital devotional that I personally pen as conversation starters. And so Tuesday Talk says, express something never truly discussed before. What's something new that you can share about what's happening with you and a positive reinforcement of a healthy marriage relationship? Now, I know that's a deep question. That's for y'all behind the scenes. So we're not going to have you to answer that on live, but that's just, again, one of the conversation starters for a week's worth of starters, that if you could express something never truly discussed before. But we're going to piggyback with the Scurries and talk about marriage and ministry. Being a pastor, you know, I know you're called on and you're tugged on. And then, of course, you know, First Lady Scurry, I'm sure, you know, there's times that she probably have to bite her tongue and, you know, have to pray and be covered. But let's just talk about marriage and being in ministry and what that really looks like.
Well, I love what I do, but at the same time, it get challenging for me because a lot of time I be dragging my wife and my daughter along with me. You know, me personally, you know, I love it. You know, I love being there for people. I love helping people. But at the same time, I have to be there for my family too. So, you know, I don't look for a balance, because when something is balanced, that means it's not moving. What I look for and try to strive for and keep is a rhythm and a flow with my ministry, my preaching, my teaching, and also being a husband and a father. I look for a rhythm and a flow, try to keep it all flowing at the same time. But what I'm learning now is that I have to learn how to say no for some things, and not no as being rude or some sort. Saying no to the point that I have to realize that I still have to take time with my family, and also for me to get rest. So it could be challenging, but on the challenging part, it's not like it's challenging towards me as what I love to do. It's the challenging part. It's a challenging part to the fact that I drag my wife along. We may be planning to do something on a Saturday, and I get a phone call. I got to do a funeral on that Saturday. I'm getting ready to go on a trip or something, and someone get real sick, and I got to pack up and I got to go. Those type of things, you know. That's basically the challenging part. You know, I would say with being in the ministry. What about you, First Lady?
I would say the challenging part of being a First Lady and being his backbone is sometimes just being there when you don't know what to do. You know, sometimes you be there for him as being a pastor, but don't know how affectionate you are in his life. So the challenging part for me is just to try to stay in the word, try to stay prayed up, and just try to be his side, by his side every step of the way.
That's good. And then one thing that, you know, especially being in ministry, you know, I realized to be a family that prays together, like they say, stays together, right?
Right.
And
Amen.
so for couples that are watching, they may don't pray, or this could be something that as a word of encouragement for them to be able to pray. So
Amen.
How does the prayer life work for you? Is that something y'all consistently do in the morning? Y'all do it in the evening? What does that look like for you as a family, as it relates to communicating through prayer together?
We try to make sure we say prayer all the time. We get up in the morning. Pastor Scurry prays over us. We pray with our daughter before she goes to school. Before we lay down at night, we pray. So our prayer life, we make sure we put our prayer life in everything that we do, whether it's at night, going down the road in the car. Our prayer life is strong. We make sure we put God first, pray about it, because we just, like he said, a family that prays together stays together. And with me and Pastor Scurry, we done been through a lot with health, and prayer has really brought us through. So prayer is the main key in our home.
That's good. And I hope for someone that's watching today, to be inspired, to be encouraged, because one thing that as I was looking over the bios of most of the couples, as you said, being your first and only marriage. And I mean, I know that there were, I'm sure, times that maybe it didn't seem like it could last, or maybe, others may have thought that you weren't going to last, but look at God. Here you are 13 years later, right? And you're still holding strong and just living your best life. But there are couples that may be watching right now that, as we're approaching the holidays, it's not a happy time for everyone. The pandemic has caused, a lot of pain and suffering for people that have lost jobs or had to go through health issues. So I would like to ask, though, what would be for you all like a word of encouragement for someone that's watching this evening?
I would encourage them to always keep God first. Put God first and let him be the head. Seek him in all your ways. And, like my brother said earlier, lean not into your own understanding. And he always says, where there's two or three, he will be in the midst. And your husband and wife, you are two. And he will be in the midst of it. And he will lead and guide you if you just trust him. That's the biggest agnew of anything. It is trust. You got your communication. You got your communication and you got your trust. And with your communication and your trust, it will bring forth understanding. And when you have that understanding and you know that he will make a way out of no way, and he can bring you through anything, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, because it's going to come. You just got to just be prepared for it and trust and believe that you're going to make it. And my advice would be keep God first.
That's good. Marilyn, you good with that, or did you want to add something?
I'm good. I have to tell every couple just to trust your mate. I know 3.5 years ago I went through colon cancer, and that was a shocking to the whole family. And that brought in, when he married me, he said he'll take care of me. He'll be with me, the richer, the poor, the sickness, and the health. And I tell y'all, my husband was my doctor, my prayer partner. He did things that I did not think he'll do. He probably stopped his whole world just to make sure I had. So I tell every couple just to stay encouraged and trust your mate and love on them.
That's good. Oh, that's such an amazing love story. And, to even be able to share that little piece that you mentioned as you were going through the trying times of your health. And I'm sure there's other couples that are watching and may tap into this. That could be you, or maybe your spouse or your significant other is not doing for you maybe the way you would want them to. My prayer is that it all works out for your good in the end, and that God will still be glorified and that you be healed in your body. Because oftentimes what I always realize, even through my own personal situation, is that we can't read each other's mind.
Amen.
Right.
So regardless of what you may think that person should be doing, if you've not communicated that they would even know or even have an inkling to think, it's a two-way street here, ladies and gentlemen. And love and grind, love stories, it is going down right now. And Pastor Scurry, I know you mentioned being a pastor of the church. I mean, that's definitely a grind for sure, as it relates to just being the shepherd, as it relates to the flock that will come in. So how can people connect with you, and where are you located? And maybe they want to come out and join you on Sunday. and just let them know how you grind and what they can do to reach out to you.
Well, you can find me on Greater St. John's AME Zion Church on Facebook. You also can find me at Pastor Derek D. Scurry on YouTube and Derek D. Scurry on Facebook. And if you need a haircut, you can come to Woodruff at Scurry's Own Main Barbershop at 117 South Main Street, Woodruff, South Carolina.
Amen.
All right. Well, listen, we appreciate you. I don't know, Marilyn, you want to jump in there with something too? Or are you good?
I just need y'all to be in prayer. I'm getting ready to birth my own ministry. It's gonna be called Women's Design for Purpose. More details are yet to come.
All right. Well, definitely keep me plugged in. You know, I love to help you with getting promotions out about that. But we appreciate the Scurry so much for joining us tonight on Love and Grind Love Stories. Thank you guys for joining us. Okay. So again, we appreciate all of you for rolling with us for this really impromptu love and grind, allowing couples to share their love story. And we're coming up on our last but not least of our couples. We're going to bring around Sharika and Ricky at this time. So welcome, guys, to Love and Grind. Again, we appreciate you so much for being here tonight and taking an opportunity to share your love story. So, I mean, there's so much that we could talk about in the next few days left in the week, according to this relationship series communication guide. And this is actually week 1. So I've done week 4. So there's week 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so in week 1, let's skip on over to Sacrifice Saturdays. All right. So this is a conversation starter. It says intentionally plan or incorporate family time into your day. Set aside dedicated time and activities that magnify your why, which should be your home base, your family, your spouse, and your children. So I want you guys to think back to the last time that you had family time. What did family time look like at the Macy's home?
We're the Abercrombies.
All right. Well, we're going to laugh about it. Where did Macy's from? Is that
Well, it's on my Facebook. It's my maiden name. I never changed it on Facebook.
Okay, so Ricky say it's time to change to the Abercrombie, right?
It don't bother me.
All right. So I was like, in my mind, I know I done seen Macy's, but okay.
Yeah, you did.
But you know what? You're not the only couple, though, that still have their maiden names on their pages, having us get the name wrong. All right. So anyway, welcome to the Abercrombies, to the Love and Grind Love Stories. All right. What was your last encounter, as you would say, for family time? What did you guys do?
So for family time, we typically watch a movie because it's hard because all of our kids are so 7 years apart. So what an 18-year-old were like, the 4-year-old don't like, but we can all kind of agree upon a family movie to sit down and watch. And the 18-year-old kind of takes the L every time to watch a kid movie.
Yeah.
So it works.
I got you. And now let me ask you this, though. Was the 7 years intentional, or is that how it just worked out?
No, it was how God planned it. We have 3 kids, 7 years apart each. Yeah, so I guess 7 and 3 was our lucky number. Because it was not intentional to have a kid go off to college and you're like, whoa, now I got these little children.
Yeah.
So it wasn't intentional, but if I had to do it again, I probably would put them together so they can be closer in age and they have more common than they do now. They still try to have some stuff in common. Well, the 2 younger ones is not as bad, but my oldest son really don't have nothing in common. We always take some meals and go to the park. So he's a good big brother.
I hear you. Well, listen, I can appreciate, especially when you think about the age span, because then you have the older one that can really help out some with the kids. And I'm sure as far as your communication, being a couple, I'm sure the work schedules may be different. I don't know. Can we talk about the grind of what you guys do for work and how that balances your marriage?
Well, I mean, as far as work is concerned, we're both entrepreneurs, so we actually have the flexibility to kind of create our own schedule.
Yeah.
So, therefore, it kind of helps out a lot. Most couples are on a set schedule, so it can be a little bit more difficult to try to navigate the actual family time or responsibilities because of a set schedule. But with us both being able to create our own schedule, it kind of works out. So if there's some type of special needs that I have as far as in my business, then she'll take the role as far as being dedicated to take the kids where they need to go or showing up for certain events if that's the case, and vice versa. So being an entrepreneur is benefits, but
It's a lot of work.
yeah, it's a lot of work as well. So therefore, I mean, it's not as much free time as you just clocking out and just being done. So
Yeah.
it works out for our benefit that both of us are doing our own thing.
Now, and let's go to the fact that, like you said, you're grinding, you're doing your own thing as entrepreneur. So let's tell us what you're doing entrepreneur wise and how people can connect with what it is you have going on.
Well, I'm actually a realtor, so therefore, as far as real estate, anything that you want to do as far as buy, sell, or invest in real estate, that's where I actually come into the play. As far as my counterpart, she actually is into more so business development, credit, things of that nature there that help you to actually start off your business and actually the way to actually keep your business going. But I'll let her speak a little bit more into that. Mine is more so, self-explanatory. If you want to buy something, want to sell something, or invest something, the Abercrombie Group, holla at your boy.
Oh. He said, holla at you what? Well, the market is like crazy right now. So the market is so crazy right now. So, okay. While I have your attention, though, can you give maybe a real estate tip for someone? Because there are people that's probably trying to buy and sell. Maybe they're trying to sell grandma and them house and all that too. So what would be a real estate tip maybe you could give someone?
Well, I mean, as far as the market right now, my real estate tip would be to actually just prepare and be on your P's and Q's as far as what you want to actually do. Actually have your items in order. So as far as if you're looking to purchase a home, you want to actually go ahead and make sure you're already pre-approved. That's going to actually help with what I would actually call your buying power. So as far as the market right now, if you're in a multiple offer situation, you're going to look better that you're pre-approved as opposed to somebody that still has to get actually an approval. So certain little tips and things of that nature there are going to help you out as far as overcoming the hurdles of losing out on a home, which can be discouraging. So if you prepare prior to is the best thing. And if you don't know how to do that, just call me and I'll set you up.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, Ricky. All right, Sharika, go ahead and tell us about your grind.
Well, I do credit repair and I'm a business doula. So any business you have, or if you come to me and you want to do a business, I kind of just basically sit with you and see what you like to do and try to make your passion into a business. Or if you have no ideas at all, I have plenty. They float in here. So I help people that actually wants to start from scratch, an actual business. I dabble in investments.
Okay. Well, I see y'all grinding, honey. Yes, we appreciate, first of all, just for the impromptu of being able to come and be a part of Love and Grind Love Story. Yeah. But there are couples that are maybe watching, you guys, obviously you are gelling well, that you're working together, and both of you being entrepreneurs. That's not often common in most households. You tend to have one that's doing that typical 9 to 5 and maybe one doing their thing. But the fact that you're both able to do business and do business together, what's your word of encouragement for other couples that may be watching? I mean, it could be a plethora of things that you want to encourage. So what would be your word of encouragement for anyone watching this evening?
Well, words of encouragement is just basically, as far as it relates to the whole topic, is just communication wise. If you're actually able to communicate in all situations, you're going to be able to navigate any type of hurdle that you come to, even with business wise, with us working together, we communicate. So if it's something that I need or I'm lacking in, she can actually pick up on it, or vice versa. So communication is probably the best key in regards to relationship, period. So if you need something, be open to verbally state what it is that you actually need. And if that person is being verbal, just be receptive of the information to understand and try to help as much as you can.
All right. Sharika, you going to add anything?
And mine would just be effective communication, because a lot of people communicate, but they communicate at each other. So you have to communicate effectively, and you have to, and if you are the listener, you have to listen and not listen to react, but listen to respond
Or understand.
and understand as well. Yeah. So, yeah, that would be my tidbit, is to listen. So God gave you 2 ears. Listen twice, 1 mouth, talk once.
That's
now,
good.
I'm still working on it.
Look, the Boquisha and me be working on that too. So
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
So how can people reach out to you? I mean, they may be looking to buy or sell. They may need some credit or business tips. How can people reach out to you guys?
Well, you can reach the Abercrombie Group at 864-580-6767. And that way you can get in contact with me directly, or you can actually reach out to me on Facebook. As far as social media, I'm getting better at it, but if you do reach out, I'm going to respond. But as far as actively on there, I'm doing better at that. I'm actually working on it. But if you call my number, I'm guaranteed to answer the phone, or email me. Either way, but you can connect with me online or socially for a response.
And me, I'm on Facebook as Sharika Abercrombie. I am on TikTok I'm on Facebook as Sharika Massey. I'm on TikTok as Sharika Abercrombie, and I'm on Instagram as Chosen to Help Others.
All right, I'm gonna have to follow you on TikTok. I'm trying to do better with TikTok, but TikTok is where it is now. They're saying that's like the #1 social platform. So if you ain't on TikTok, you ain't popping, Ricky. So
I ain't popping yet, but I'm gonna be sizzling and crackling and everything in a minute.
All right. Well, it's been absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for chiming in for the official launch, is what I'm going to say, of Love and Grind, love stories. And as we continue to allow couples to share their love stories, thank you so much for being a part of it, okay?
We thank you so very much for having us.
Thank you so much. So again, I appreciate and I'm so grateful and humble for every couple that chimed in tonight. Look, this was a 24-hour turnaround. They dropped the pictures yesterday. I was in their inbox trying to put this show together. And guess what, guys? We did it. And I just want to say thank you to every couple that was represented tonight. I know there's several other couples that have already agreed to be a part of upcoming shows. So listen, if you want to be a part of Love and Grind, where you can share your love story, I want to personally invite you to connect with me, whether it's through Messenger, or you can send an email to loveandgrindlovestories@gmail.com. I really appreciate each and every one of you for just rolling with me and just allowing me to do what I do. And that's just have fun and share opportunities. One thing that I wanted to be able to let all of our guests tonight know, and this is like my printed version, the relationship series guide, communication guide, week 1, all of our guests tonight will get a free copy of that. And you can find it on Amazon. It's like 99 cents, y'all. So for week 1, week 2, week 3, and I will be dropping week 4. So stay tuned for that. But again, these merely are conversation starters, a relationship series guide, where again, we know that communication is really the lifeline to any relationship. But until next time, yours truly, Miss Jazzy here. It's been absolutely a phenomenal show. Got to give it back to all of our guests for sharing their love story.